Welcome to Cost Saver Conversations. I'm Angela, and I ask the practical questions so you can quickly understand what matters. Today, I'm joined with Assad.
Hi, Angela. We are unpacking UK parcel delivery hidden costs, why your $5 courier quote becomes 15 today, and tying it back to the wider cost saver ecosystem, including tools like UK Delivery Cost Checker so you can turn insights into action quickly.
Just a heads up before we dive in, we are your synthetic hosts. We are great with numbers, but as AI, we can sometimes be confidently wrong. Think of us as the digital versions of your most knowledgeable, slightly caffeinated friends.
Exactly. Treat this chat as a smart estimate only, not as professional financial guidance. Always check important details with official sources or a qualified expert before making any big decisions.
Assad, I was looking at sending a birthday present last week, right? And the quote online was like $4.99, seemed reasonable. But then at checkout, it was suddenly, I kid you not, 14 pounds something. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we?
Oh God, yes, every single time. It's actually the UK parcel delivery market is worth over 15 billion annually. We're sending 5.4 billion parcels a year.
Wait, billion? With a B?
With a B, yeah. That works out to about 82 parcels per person per year, which is kind of,
82? That seems a lot.
I know, right? But think about all the Amazon orders, the returns, Anyway, the thing that gets me is despite this massive volume, the pricing is still completely opaque, like deliberately confusing.
Deliberately is the word. So what's actually happening when my fiver turns into 15?
Right, so the biggest culprit, and honestly, most people have never even heard of this, is volumetric weight.
Volumetric weight?
Yeah, so basically, couriers don't just weigh your parcel anymore. They measure it, length times width times height, then divide by 5,000 if you're using centimeters. And here's the kicker. They charge you for whichever is higher, the actual weight or this volumetric weight.
Oh, so if I'm sending something light but bulky?
You're screwed, basically. No, but seriously, I had this customer once, they were sending a lampshade. Thing weighed 500 grams, right? Half a kilo.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 60 by 60 by 40 centimeters. Do the maths on that, and suddenly it's, hold on, nearly 29 kilos volumetrically. So instead of paying for a 500-gram parcel, they're paying for 29 kilos.
No way.
Way. Their 6-pound delivery quote became 45.
That's absolutely mental. And you don't find out
Until you're standing at the post office counter. Yeah, package all wrapped up, queue behind you. What are you going to do, take it home?
Exactly. You're trapped. What else are they sneaking in?
Oh, where do I start? Fuel surcharges are a big one. They're not in the advertised price, obviously. Currently running between 12% and 18% depending on the courier.
Right.
DPD's at 16.75% right now. So your 20-pound delivery, that's actually 23 pounds 35. And the really annoying thing is,
They don't show it until the end?
exactly. You've spent 20 minutes entering all your details and then boom. Oh, also, even when fuel prices drop, these surcharges somehow don't.
Of course they don't. Classic.
Then you've got remote area surcharges. This affects about 15% of UK postcodes. We're talking Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, but also random bits of rural England.
How much extra?
Anywhere from $3 to $25 per parcel. And what's remote to one courier is totally fine to another. Aberdeen might be remote for FedEx, but standard for Royal Mail. There's no consistency.
The postcode lottery.
Literally. Oh, and these lists change quarterly, by the way. So that address that was fine in January might be remote by April.
You're kidding.
I wish. Then there's weekend delivery. Saturday's typically 25% to 50% more expensive. Royal Mail charges an extra $7.65 for Saturday guarantee. DPD adds $8.40.
And if you send something on Friday for next day, you automatically get hit with the Saturday charge, right?
Yup, even if you didn't specifically request Saturday. It's a really common trap. What else? Oh, residential delivery surcharges.
Residential? As in delivering to someone's house?
Yeah, the business-focused couriers like UPS, FedEx, they'll add £2.50 to £4.80 just for delivering to a home address. And they have a really broad definition of residential. Home offices, care homes, even some small businesses if they're in mixed-use buildings.
So if you're running a small business from home?
You're getting stung twice, basically. And here's one that really winds me up. Incorrect address charges.
Go on.
If you miss an apartment number, get the postcode slightly wrong, even put street instead of road with some couriers, that's 10 to 16 pounds. And they don't tell you. They just figure it out, deliver it anyway, then slap the charge on your invoice.
That's so sneaky.
It really is. Then we've got redelivery charges. Failed deliveries cost UK businesses $1.6 billion annually, apparently. After a couple of free attempts, you're looking at 5 to 12 pounds per additional try.
And storage fees on top of that?
Oh yeah. After 5 days, most charge $2 to $5 daily. After 14 days, they might just return it. And guess what? You pay return shipping too.
It just keeps getting worse.
Wait, there's more. Oversize and overweight penalties. These can literally double or triple your costs.
How big are we talking?
Over 1.5 meters long? That's 15 to 30 pounds extra. Over 25 kilograms? Another 20 to 50. And if it's over 30 kilograms, it often has to ship as freight.
Freight?
Freight. Minimum 75 pounds, regardless of distance. I've seen people send a couple of dumbbells and suddenly, boom, freight charges.
That's insane. Okay, what about Brexit? That must have added complications.
Oh God, yes. UK to EU shipping now involves customs handling fees, 8 to 15 per parcel, even when there's no actual duty to pay. It's just for the paperwork.
For the paperwork.
And Northern Ireland is it's a complete mess, honestly. Some parcels need duplicate documentation. You're dealing with both UK and EU regulations.
The protocol made everything so complicated.
Tell me about it. Oh, and insurance. Standard courier insurance usually covers only 50 to 100 pounds.
That's nothing.
Right? If you're sending a laptop or anything valuable, you need additional coverage. That's typically 2% to 4% of the declared value. Minimum charge 5 pounds. And there are so many exclusions. Electronics might be capped at 500, jewelry might not be covered at all.
You really have to read the fine print. All right, and peak seasons? I'm guessing Christmas is a nightmare.
Christmas, Black Friday, even Valentine's Day, they all trigger surcharges. We're talking 15% to 50% extra. DPD increased everything by 25% during peak 2023.
25%.
And even booking manually at the counter instead of online, that's a $4 processing fee with some couriers.
So people without internet access are basically penalized. That's actually quite discriminatory.
It's the digital divide in action, yeah. Look, with all these charges, you need a system to calculate the true cost.
Right, so how do we actually figure out what we're really going to pay?
Okay, so I use a 5-step method. First, calculate your base rate using accurate measurements. And remember the volumetric weight thing.
The length times width times height divided by 5,000.
Exactly. Then add percentage-based surcharges, fuel, peak season, whatever. Third, add fixed surcharges like remote area or residential. Fourth, factor in service options like Saturday delivery. And finally, insurance.
That's actually quite logical when you break it down, but you'd need to know all the zones and stuff too, right?
Yeah, and zones are a whole other headache. Every courier divides the UK differently. Royal Mail uses distance, DPD uses postcodes, international couriers use proximity to their hubs. Zone 1 is usually major cities, Zone 2 is smaller cities, maybe 10% to 20% more. Zone 3 is rural, that's 20% to 40% more.
And Scotland's always expensive, I bet.
Well, the Central Belt might be Zone 1 with some couriers, Zone 2 with others, but the Highlands? Always Zone 3 or worse. Some postcodes are extended area, which is basically courier speak for, we really don't want to go there.
Brilliant. So given all this madness, what can people actually do to save money?
Right, so consolidation is huge. Instead of sending 3 5-kilogram parcels, combine them into one 15-kilogram shipment. The per kilo rate drops significantly. You can save 30% to 50% that way.
Really? That much?
Yeah, and bulk booking. You don't need massive volumes. 5 parcels a month can get you 10% off with some couriers. 10 parcels might get you 20%.
That's actually really accessible.
Also, timing matters. Avoid Mondays and Fridays. Highest volumes, worst service. Tuesday through Thursday is your sweet spot, and mid-month is better than month-end when all the businesses are shipping.
I never would have thought of that.
And consider alternatives. Parcel lockers, Amazon lockers, InPost, they're 20% to 40% cheaper than home delivery.
But you have to go collect it.
True, but if you're passing by anyway, also, peer-to-peer services like Shipley can be 50% cheaper for non-urgent stuff. Someone's already driving that route, might as well take your parcel.
That's quite clever, actually.
That's quite clever, actually. Let me tell you about Sarah. This is a real customer from Manchester.
Oh, this is the lamp story?
Yeah, she wanted to send a vintage lamp to her sister in Edinburgh for her birthday. Online quote, $8.99.
Reasonable.
You think, but the box was 65 by 45 by 45 centimeters. That's a volumetric weight of 26.3 kilograms, even though the actual lamp was only 2 kilograms.
Oh, no.
Then Edinburgh triggered a $12 remote area surcharge. Saturday delivery for the birthday, $8.40 extra. Insurance for the $150 lamp, another $6.
Don't tell me.
Final bill, $52.39.
From $8.99 to over 50 quid. That's exactly what we're talking about, isn't it?
6 times the original quote. And she could have saved $18 just by choosing a different courier, or reshaping the packaging to reduce volumetric weight, or shipping earlier to avoid Saturday delivery.
Right. Before we wrap up, I know people worry about things like, will switching couriers affect my credit score?
Oh God, no, zero impact. It's not like utilities or phone contracts. You can switch couriers for every single parcel if you want.
And are cheaper couriers always dodgier?
Not at all. Often, they're just more transparent. They might have fewer services or less convenient drop-offs, but honestly, the price you see is usually what you pay. It's the premium couriers with all their complex pricing that sting you.
That's quite ironic, really. Okay, so key takeaways. Measure everything accurately, calculate volumetric weight, check all the surcharges up front.
Especially remote areas and weekend delivery, yeah. And honestly, make yourself a spreadsheet. List all the potential charges for your regular couriers, update it quarterly. It'll save you so much money and hassle.
A spreadsheet. Very practical. You know what, Assad? This has been genuinely eye-opening. I'm never looking at delivery quotes the same way again.
That's the idea. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to not getting ripped off by couriers.
Absolutely. Thanks for breaking it all down. I mean, it's a lot to take in, but at least now we know what we're dealing with.
Exactly. Better to know than to get that shock at the counter, right?
Quick side note, this guide connects with other cost-saver blogs, especially understanding energy bill breakdown, optimizing home energy efficiency, and cutting laundry drying costs.
Exactly, and reading those together gives you a fuller picture of safety, energy costs, and long-term affordability before you choose a postcode.
And if you want to apply this immediately, jump into tools like UK Delivery Cost Checker right after this episode.
Primary sources used here include Citizens Advice, Parcel Delivery Problems and Your Rights, and Which Guide to Parcel Delivery Services, so you can verify the data yourself and stay evidence-led.
That wraps this cost-saver conversation with Angela and Assad. If this helped, share it with someone house hunting so they make safer and smarter money decisions.
Your next step is simple. Try UK Delivery Cost Checker, then read Understanding Energy Bill Breakdown, and use both together before committing to a move.